Doomsday 3.
Yeah, we had Doomsday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas. I think it's most of his country, of course.
For safety and
Got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass involved. You better get involved.
I just gotta say, when it comes to Dallas,
Different.
for sure, they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets on you.
Father from and I go to bed every night like man, I promise you that we got a What is up, Cowboys Nation, man? You know what time it is. It's time to get this season going. The hype video's been done. My man Greg dropped his video. I mean, we got all this great stuff going on. We feeling good. So hopefully, Cowboys Nation, you're feeling amped up as we are. We're going to have some fun. It's early morning. So if you got your coffee, maybe you got a little, what do they call those things? The champagne, the mimosas, you got a Bloody Mary, whatever it is. Let's get that drinking going now. Get this thing ready. But first of all, hit that subscribe. Hit the like, hit the share, because I never say it enough. Everyone tells me I don't. I need to say it, and I'll forget about it. But get that thing out of the way. But my man Greg, how you feeling? I mean, you and I we're Canes fans, so we had a great Saturday night. Yep. Now we're getting ready for Sunday. We're going to have some fun. So how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Like I tell people, if you're going to hang out with the Owls late at night, you better be ready to fly with the Eagles in the morning. Because it's time, baby. It's week 1. We're ready to get this show on the road. Cowboys are back.
No, absolutely. We are definitely looking forward to Cardiac Cowboys. What is up? Cuts by Jones. I was talking to Cuts yesterday. We're getting ready for this tailgate party the 22nd, and I know what he's doing right now. He's ironing his clothes, getting it ready for the work week. You got to look right? You got to look right, feel right, to be right. So definitely, what's up? What's up, Lewis? I mean, Bobby. We got my Eagle fan. Got to give love to Saquon. That was a hell of a game.
Yeah.
He played Friday night. I don't think anyone ever questions his talent. It's always availability. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully Jordan Love. Never want to see players as much as, I don't like Green Bay. I don't like seeing players get hurt, man. I want to be the man. You got to beat the man, and I want to always beat the best to be the best. So
that's right.
Football's been started, man. Thursday night was an unbelievable game with the little, what is that? The big toe kind of getting in the way. And then obviously the Eagle-Packer game, I think we all got cheated a little bit with the field. And I understand it's all about the money, but players, I mean, risk of injuries, I mean, quality of play. I mean, both teams really weren't able to show their best, I don't believe, because of those field conditions. And I just think the NFL's got to do right by giving us the best product. So I don't know. That's just my takes. What'd you think about the games leading up to today?
So far, good games. I mean, good games. Kept us on the edge of our seats the entire game, and got down to the toe thing. When I saw that, I said, oh, yeah, Baltimore came back. They're going to win this game. And when I saw the toe, I said, oh, no, when they come back, that's going to definitely be out of bounds. Should have had a shorter toe. And then the Jordan Love game, just like you said, exactly like you said, when I saw Jordan Love go down, the first thing I thought about, please don't let this be a Dak situation, because I would rather us play a team, if we have to play them again, I'd rather us play the best team out there to show that we can beat the best to get to where we got to go. And then Saquon, I'm telling you, watch Zeke. I told you when somebody leaves and has to go to a different venue, when the team that they wanted to stay with no longer wants them and they still got the juice, they have something to prove. Saquon went out there and proved, you wrote me off in New York, but I'm showing you what you missed by not re-signing me. Now, when Zeke comes back to Dallas, watch the same thing.
Yeah. No, I hope so. I mean,
it will.
For what Saquon did, I mean, I'll be doing backflips in the Cowboys cave for sure. But it's setting up to be an exciting NFL season. Can't wait. The butterflies are in. You get nervous all day. I'm kind of happy the Cowboys, we got an afternoon game. We got that 4:30 my time, 3:30 Dallas time game. So you don't have to wait all night. I mean, typically, right, Dallas usually plays on Sunday night a lot. So you got to wait all day. You got to figure out how to get your mind, kind of, conditioned and not get so tired. The adrenaline's running. But I'm just, man, woke up bright and early this morning, got my cup of coffee. I got the jersey out, getting the cave right, getting everything. You got to get everything meticulous. I know you do the same.
Yeah.
Look at that cave. I know you got a routine you got to do.
That's right.
And it's just so exciting to have football back. And the sad part is, as fast as it now it's here, it's over in a blink of an eye. So I tell people, man, you got to enjoy. Don't live in the world of negativity. I don't care who your team is. Go in positive. Go in with the hopes, because you just never know. And we're going to play this thing out, right? A lot of people are thinking, oh, Dallas isn't going to be as good. I think they're a better roster, and we're going to get into that. I think they're a better team mentally. I think this is something, it's a process. You heard the rooted, theme that they're talking about. And I think you feel some of that. So I'm just saying, man, it's hope for everybody in the NFL. Just be happy it's back, and Sunday afternoons are back, and just enjoy it, man. I got the chicken wings getting ready to go, man. It's going to be a fun day. So.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Stephen White, salutes to you too. And Irene, Cardiac Cowboy. Listen, this is the type of the season where all of that, when you touch something electric and your hair just spikes up like that, this is where it starts right here. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And now that it's here, enjoy the moment as it goes. Like he said, as soon as it starts, it's over. Enjoy the moment. But one thing that no Cowboys fan on this planet can ever say they heard Greg Neighbors say but once in 1 year that, oh, this is our year. This is our year. I love it when Cowboys fans say that, because it's hope. But you won't hear me say that unless I feel it. And I said it last year for the first time. This is our year to take it all. And we could have been there. But this year, I'm telling you, I feel like we're loaded. We are loaded. As far as I'm concerned, there's no running back question anymore. We got Dalvin Cook to help us back there. CeeDee Lamb, Rico Dowdle. That's enough to get it done. We got an offensive line that's young and fresh and energetic. We got linebackers. We got defensive ends and rush stoppers. We got corners and DBs. I'm telling you, when I say we loaded, we loaded. This is Greg Neighbors' announcement. This is our year.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I feel it. And I think, like you said, we're going to get into it. But you made a lot of great points, and we want to hear your points. So we do these Sunday shows, man. It's interactive. It's kind of, you tell us if we're full of what. You tell us if you agree with us. Give us your thoughts. But looking at the game, and we're going to kind of go into kind of some of these matchups, and then we're going to get into keys to victory. We're bringing back, my man Eugene Lockhart's Hungry Player of the Week. We got to figure out who some candidates are that we can keep an eye on. And Uncle Cheech, I think, is making his way into the cave. He had a phenomenal Saturday. He's got Sunday coming. He's got his lock of the week going today. So we have so much going on in the cave. So again, if you guys are checking us out on X, and I know a ton of you on there, and appreciate all the love, appreciate all the great comments with the hype video. The shoes, they did fit. They went in easy. Gogan sent me his cleats, and they, those size 16s, I didn't have no trouble getting in and out of them, but it was a lot of fun doing it. But make sure you guys slide over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, that like button, and definitely share it. Share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, we can't see your chats. So on Instagram, you need to definitely slide over to the to YouTube so you can be part of the show, because I mean, this is a show for the fans, by the fans, and that's what we love to do. So definitely kind of get that going. So let's think about it right now. We got Dak Prescott, and we're going to get into that a little bit. Not now. We're going to save that till a little bit later. You got Dak Prescott. You got Deshaun Watson. Now, Deshaun Watson was kind of the end-all, be-all, and it's just a reminder for you guys, be careful putting these quarterbacks on a pedestal too soon. And, sometimes you got to be careful of what life is like without a quarterback. I mean, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And we're going to get into that. But looking at the matchup between Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, right? The quarterback matchup. I mean, what what's your thoughts? Deshaun Watson's been a little disappointing in Cleveland, just hadn't been able to stay healthy. Has been his biggest problem. I mean, what is your first initial thoughts, Greg, and you guys in the chat?
Well, listen, and I'm not trying to downplay the game, and I'm not trying to downplay Watson, but Watson's better days are gone. That stint that he had to sit out and then come back, if you notice, he hasn't been the same. He's not going to be the Deshaun Watson they gave all the money to. They have to keep him because they paid him a mint. So they have to keep him, and nobody else is going to take him. Deshaun Watson has got to play today like today is the best game he's played in his career. I feel, in order to beat us. And if they get bad weather, Cleveland is good in bad, soaky weather. But if they don't get bad weather and it's a clean field for everybody, Deshaun Watson is not going to beat us. Our defense won't allow it. He doesn't have that Deshaun Watson that he used to have. As far as I'm concerned, he's a backup. He's a backup, but he's their starter because they paid him. So the matchup between Dak and Deshaun, there's no match. There's no match. I'm just concerned how many picks we're going to get today.
Well, yeah, and I, you're looking at the matchup, and you talk about with Deshaun, and you talk about with Dak Prescott. I mean, you're looking at CD on our side. They've got a good secondary, and you're looking at Cooper on their side, our old friend Amari Cooper, former Cowboy. I actually was surprised. They put together his 2 seasons with the Raiders, 2 seasons with the Cowboys, 2 seasons with the Browns. He's been the best with the Browns. And that kind of, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised. I thought it was the Cowboys because, I mean, he was impactful for the Cowboys. So looking at who could Dak and Deshaun, who do you think they're going to be? Who's going to exploit more? I mean, Diggs is going to be lined up with Cooper, but Diggs typically doesn't shadow. So you obviously got Carson's going to be on the other side. And if Cooper runs around, I mean, you could end up with the rookie on him. And I mean, Cooper's a surgeon when it comes to route run. Yeah. And then of course you got CD who moves all over the place, but the Browns definitely got some, they've got some secondary and some cornerbacks that are going to be able to give him some matchups. But I think CD's going to have his way. That's just my opinion. I probably gave away my answer. But what do you think about the receiving core? Who could do more damage? What quarterback could get more damage out of the receiving core on either side?
Well, to me, Coop and Lamb are equal. Coop is one hell of a route runner and a sneaky player when knowing how to get open. Same thing with Lamb. But the keys for both of them are if the quarterback keys on them a lot. Watson is going to rely on Cooper big time, because our secondary has got to be on it. Now, Kalen Carson, he's going to play today, but he's got a slight knee injury. So, I'm sure they read the injury report. They saw it, so they're going to try to take advantage of him right off the bat. So I'm sure the Cowboys are going to adjust. But Lamb, if Dak hits Lamb's going to always be open because Lamb can get open and nobody else can cover Lamb, just like most people can't cover Cooper. But I think today that Dak relies on the tight ends a lot. I think the tight ends are going to surprise everybody because today is a day where everybody's looking for Lamb, who came back. They're looking for that receiver. They're looking for that matchup like with Cooper. And they're like, we got to put the 2 people on Lamb to make sure he doesn't get open. But our tight ends are going to exploit that defense. Defense against defense. But the Cleveland's defensive line is stronger than ours. But we got Guyton. We got BB. We got a strong line down. So I think Dak will get the time. But he's got to take what they give us. And don't go for something that's you're trying to go through the window, because Cleveland is good when trying to take them balls out of that window. So if he sticks with what they give us, we'll be fine. Watson is going to rely on Coop, and if we know that and we pick up on Coop and his running route, the safety can get him a couple.
Yeah. No, definitely. I would, and I think Cooper's going to. I think he's going to have a good game. I think Zimmer's obviously they're going to make some plans. You got Judy too, who they picked up, which my brother's a Broncos fan. He's been very disappointing in Denver. He never lived up to the hype of obviously when he was with Alabama. I don't know. Maybe fresh scenery is going to do him right. but Cooper's going to be the X factor. I think Njoku, we didn't really talk about the tight ends. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
But I think Njoku's going to be one of those guys as well. But we've got the safeties that can cover. I mean, that's one thing we've got. We've got, Thomas, obviously you got Bell. I mean, those guys, if they come in, they'd be able to kind of cover Njoku if needed. I think CD's going to have his way. What I always worry about, a guy wasn't at training camp, but he was working, is getting any kind of those soft tissue injuries. Hopefully none of that kind of happens with CD, but he looks like he's ready to go. I think the edge is going to go. Obviously, I think it's going to go to the Cowboys. I think they've got more weapons. I think they're deeper. I think they've got the better quarterback. It's going to be interesting. And then you look at the running game, and you've got the running game of, Cleveland doesn't have Chubb. Ford's been good, but but they don't have Chubb. Dallas, you feel pretty good about the running game. I'm still kind of, on the fence. I'm on the fence. I mean, running back by committee, I have no issues with. I want to see how they work. The one thing I think you're going to get, a lot of Zeke, but I think you're going to get a lot of Zeke primarily because the offensive line, which we'll get into the defensive sides of each. Zeke is our best, running back for pass protection. And I think you're going to have some welcome to the NFL moments for offensive linemen as they kind of build and get that experience. So I think you're going to see a lot of Zeke, in the game, which may not be a bad thing. I mean, you're feeling pretty good about it. So, I mean, how do you feel about the running game, and how do you guys feel about the running game situation on both sides?
Well, I think the running game is going to be pretty decent because Myles Garrett is going to be he's a speed rusher. He's on the outside. So now if our running game is so successful, they might start squeezing Myles Garrett inside a little bit to try to cheat, but then we can hit a running back on the flank or hit a tight end. But Myles Garrett is the key, because I bet you they're going to put Myles Garrett on Guyton. Probably put Myles Garrett on Guyton to test Guyton's ability to stop somebody like him. And if he's successful, we must adjust. But our running backs with Dalvin Cook, Rico Dowdle, that power rusher, and Zeke, I think we're gonna do fine. And we got an offensive line now that can open holes. All they need to do is give them a little daylight. That's it. Give each one of them a little daylight. And then I don't know much about the Cleveland Browns linebackers. I just know that their defensive line is their signature on defense. I don't know much about the linebackers, but we get past that defensive line, it's all day. It's open all day. And Cleveland's biggest asset or deniability today is all on Watson. That offense will not succeed if Watson isn't playing his best game. And I haven't seen Watson play a good game all last season. You had what's his boy name that came from Baltimore, the backup for him last year.
Yeah.
He played better.
He did.
And PJ Walker,
Flacco you're talking about.
Flacco and PJ Walker played better, but they're both gone. So I don't know who their backup is. But Watson is the key to us winning this game today, and our success in running against that defense, because that is Cleveland's signature, the defense. So if we can run against their defense, everything opens up.
Yeah, I want to piggyback up off what Gage said, because he brings up a good point. The offensive line for the Browns is a little banged up. A little banged up. I think they got one guy's going to be out. Another guy maybe kind of hurt a little bit. See how they go, if they both go or one goes or whatever. So there's opportunity for the Cowboys to get a lot of pressure. And I think obviously pressure is going to help everything, right? Pressure is going to help the secondary. Pressure is going to help, obviously maybe make Watson give rid of the ball a little faster than he needs to. That creates turnovers. So I think the offensive line, as crazy as it is, the Cowboys offensive line might have an edge. I don't know. I mean, because you're starting two rookies. It's hard to give any offensive line an edge when you're starting two rookies in their very first game. There's going to be some jitters. There's going to be, those nerves going. But the one thing they both have is, you see the jersey I'm wearing? I mean, I know my man Greg knows this. This isn't TJ Bass. This isn't TJ Bass. I mean, this is big, nasty Kevin Gogan. And that's what these guys, Beebe and Guyton, they've got some nasty to them. And I think, like Gogan said, on our show, I mean, offensive line isn't a friendly position. That's not, we're not being buddies and being nice to each other. We're out to hurt somebody within the rules of the game, but we want to punish people. And any mean we play to the whistle. So I think these guys have that. It's gonna gel. So I would just tell the Cowboys fans is just don't get too crazy. Like if you get a rough start or if this is with the offensive line, because it's going to take them a little time to gel. But if they got a nasty streak to them, which both of these guys do, that is I can work with that. And they both are obviously got a lot of talent. And the Dallas Cowboys have done very well in the draft, finding these guys. I mean, Tyler Smith, obviously Zach Martin. I mean, Tyler Smith. We got criticized for taking him by our own family and also by the media. Jerry wanted Manziel. Thankfully, we got Zach Martin.
I know it, man.
That would have been a nightmare. So Steele, which is kind of the forgotten guy, right? So Steele had a rough year. Now he's 2 years removed from the injury. Is he going to be an All-Pro? Probably not. Is he going to be a Pro Bowler? Probably not. But go watch Philly. Go watch Kansas City. They don't have all pros on their line at every position. You can't. I mean, you're not. You just need some solid guys, and I think Steele can be that guy. So it's going to be definitely interesting. I thought I saw another. Lewis had mentioned about the offensive line against see how they do. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. There was a question by Lewis, and I don't want it to slide too far past, and we're going to get into Dak, but if Dak was on Cleveland, would this team make the playoffs in Super Bowl? And I would say without a doubt they would make the playoffs. They'd have the opportunity for the Super Bowl. They got the defense, they got receivers. You give me Chubb, I mean they're a pretty damn good team. I agree. I mean, what would you think?
Yeah, they would, and there are a lot of teams out there itching and hoping that Jerry makes a huge blunder and not sign Dak, and then Dak gets away from us. And I'm going to tell you, and he knows it. He knows it. They'll be at the door. They'll come out there to sell a house. They'll give away their wives and kids and dogs to get Dak, because a lot of teams, that's the only component they need. Oh, and by the way, I saw my brother just came in here somewhere. Jim, no, Shedeur Sanders will not be our quarterback next year. So you can hang that up, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, you
can hang that up.
The Cowboy, there's a portion of the fan base and stuff that and we're gonna get into it with him.
All hype.
I mean, we saw what life with another quarterback may not be so great. And if the Cowboys want to risk it, I mean, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot, I could do about it. I'm a fan, so I'm going to support whoever's under center, whoever's wearing the star on their helmet. That's just the way it is. I lived through the Hutchinson. I lived through the Drew Hensons. I lived through the Clint Starners. I mean, I'll throw a name out. I know Greg knows, but I know most people don't. Kevin Sweeney. I lived through some of those years. I mean, I'm battle tested for bad quarterback play, and Greg is too. So and some of you other Cowboy fans in our in our age bracket, you guys are as well. But I tell you, it's gonna be interesting to see how this thing goes. The other thing I think Lewis asked about with Jordan Love's injury, I mean, could you see the Cowboys, maybe a Cooper Rush, have some trade value, or Trey Lance have trade value if he's out? I mean, Green Bay's out 3 to 6. They have nobody at quarterback. Yeah. I mean, they got what's his name? Is it Malik Willis, the guy that
Malik Willis
in Tennessee, right?
Yep.
I mean, they're in trouble. And 3 to 6 weeks, you lose one game, you play 5 more games. Let's just say it's 5 more games, and you don't win any. You might as well just call it a day, right?
Well, see, the thing about Green Bay is they put all their marbles on Jordan Love, all of them. They didn't even think about, let's get it back up. They didn't even think about what if he gets injured. They just say, just get anybody back there, because if he gets injured here, it won't be long. We won't. See, that's where they blew it. And Jerry would be a fool to trade Cooper Rush. We need Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is the lunch bucket guy. Just like you said, the offensive lineman. We don't need our offensive linemen to go to the Pro Bowl. We just need them to be the lunch bucket people. Be consistent and do your job, because they don't get all the popularity anyway. But the Great Wall of Dallas became the Great Wall of Dallas because, just like Madden said, it ought to be against the law to have a team that big where you can't even block and get through them. If Madden hadn't recognized how good our Great Wall of Dallas was, they wouldn't have been called the Great Wall of Dallas. So they don't really get notoriety. All we need them to be is lunch bucket people.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if we go out there and do what we have to do, and pray tell, there's no bad weather, because I'm telling you, I haven't checked the weather report, but Cleveland thrives in bad weather. But Green Bay is in trouble. I think at the slightest, Jordan Love may have a high ankle sprain, because I saw how that leg went down.
They said, well, just to say, I mean, they reported MCL 3 to 6 week injury.
Oh, that's it for Green Bay.
That's a 3 to 6 week injury. That's what they said. Now, quarterbacks, I know my man says he'll be surprised if he misses 1 week. I would be surprised if he's playing within 1 week. I think it could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They could kind of push it. He'd have to be very cautious in the pocket. How does that mess with his mind a little bit? But that's the thing you got to see. And then the other question was, to get your opinion, is would you give up draft capital for 3 to 6 weeks? I would. If you think it's going to be on the 6 week side, I would give up something if you can find a guy. You'd have to be, backup guy. And again, can you get him up to speed? So you'd have to get a veteran like a Cooper Rush, or remember Fitzpatrick when he was playing, or a Keenum, a guy that could pick up an offense quickly and just kind of hold the fort down for a few weeks. I would do it. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, they just signed Malik Willis, like on I think maybe the 26th of August. It was like right at the end of camp. So they're in a bad spot. I hope he's healthy quicker, but that's pretty much what it is.
Well, and the thing is, with Green Bay doing that, if they play him and he says, I want to play anyway because he feels desperate that the team needs him, they're going to do to him what Mike Shanahan did to RG3. When RG3 got that leg whipping, I remember the play when he was running down the sideline and that guy from Minnesota hit him and you could see the leg whip. Soon as I saw it, I called it before the broadcasters, because I can see stuff like that on when the play is going. And if Mike Shanahan ruined that man's career by not forcing him, but saying, well, it was his decision, when it really, as a coach, he's just saying that because he want to help the team. And when he played that game against Seattle in the first round of the playoffs, that made his leg even worse. And then from that point on, he was garbage. Now, if Green Bay does that to Love, they're going to ruin him forever. But you do give up draft capital now, because it's all about the moment. It's all about this season, not next season. It's all about right now. But I don't even think they're going to look at the Cowboys for a quarterback. I think they'll look somewhere else, because there's some out there that didn't make it.
Well, and I just Rick said that Zappy. You remember him? I mean, I mean, maybe. I don't know.
What about Rippin? If anything, Rippin, who I was kind of surprised that they cut Rippin on Chicago, and but Rippin got picked up by Minnesota, I think it was. But there's some other quarterbacks out there that a lot of us, if they call their name, be like, oh yeah, I don't know, that they will go after just because they need somebody to just do what the game gives you, and don't try to go out there and win it. Just do what the game gives you, and we'll rely on our defense and those players that you get the ball to, and then Jacobs and the running back. But Green Bay's in trouble. And I know that when that happens, Chicago starts smelling, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Green Bay's in trouble. Now they got to worry about, they think they just have to worry about Detroit. And if it comes down to where he doesn't come back the same and you get in the playoffs, it's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Chris, Greg and I talked about it with Zeke. Yeah, definitely the blocking skills. He's going to be back there to help support. I mean, I think you're going to see Schoonmaker a lot. I mean, you're going to have those two tight end sets. Yeah, McCarthy's a pretty smart dude. I mean, he schemes well, and he is. I just don't see him leaving his, against, especially, Myles Garrett. I don't think he's not going to be leaving Guyton out there all alone every play. I mean, there's going to be times where that's just the way it is, and Dak Prescott's going to have to get rid of the ball quick. I mean, he's going to know it. I mean, Dak's a pretty smart quarterback as well. I mean, so I think they will be fine. Yeah, and the starting left tackle is out. If that's official, I think there was rumors of it. So that would be a big boost for the Cowboys. Absolutely. So, but definitely. So listen, we're going to get into Dak Prescott. We want to take a little mental break, because this is going to be a lot of, we got a long show. It's all, but we got to break it up. For those of you guys who don't know Uncle Cheech he's a Vegas insider. He's been doing this for a long time. I knew him from the Miami Hurricane days. So he's been in semi-retirement, and he said, hey, I said, hey, would you mind coming into the cave sometimes? He said, absolutely. So he comes in, he gives his picks. We're doing a little fun thing with the lock of the week. So for those of you guys who aren't on the Monday show, we do a lock of the week where Uncle Cheech's lock, we put $100 on it. The cave does. And it builds up. And when it builds up at the end of the year, whatever it is, we're going to split it 50-50 with one fan. And we pick one each week that wants to be entered in the contest. And you're entered. And so it's going to be like a 1 in 15 chance, 1 in 17, however time he wins it. He was at like a 75% last season. So right now we're up to $190. We got $100 on Miami's lock of the week, which we'll get into. So that happens. You're going to get up. That's another $100 will be to $290. So you guys can make some money and have some fun. And hopefully maybe you got some side business with Uncle Cheech. But let's bring him in for a few minutes, and then we're going to get back to some of the keys of the victory, some of the Dak Prescott talk. So hang tight. Uncle Cheech, what is going on? We are happy you're back. I mean, you had a nice Saturday. The Canes look good. You hit an upset by who was it? Uncle Carmenucci? Who was your insider on that one with Arkansas?
Carmenucci.
Carmenucci.
Valued friend, 50 years. I brought him in. He's been bored. He said, hey, Cheech, he says, mind if I give you a couple picks? It's really good at the upsets.
Yeah.
So he took Arkansas. Arkansas was actually could have won outright at one point.
They blew it, huh?
Yeah.
And but he still covered.
Yeah. Well, how was, and I know Greg wants to, let's have a minute to talk about our Canes. Look good. You had some upsets. I mean, do we see the Canes getting into that top 10? I mean, are they going to be in the top 10 come Monday?
Tell them, Cheech.
They should, but really not important. They got to win the ACC. That's all that's important. You know what I'm saying? What you call it? Texas looked really good yesterday. I picked that one. That was one of my picks. Covered easily. They just beat them down.
Yeah.
On the road. And who the hell else did I have? I told you I had Marshall. Missed out by half a point. But Miami looks good. They kept the quarterback out the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they keep him healthy, they can make a run.
Yeah, and Restrepo. As long as we keep Restrepo here.
Restrepo.
But Cheech, I bet you wish you had to put some money on Northern Illinois, don't you?
I looked at that as my upset because they always feel a good team. They were in the top 25 a couple of years ago.
Right. That would have been a lottery ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
that upset couldn't have happened to a better
right. That's right. That's right.
He talks all that crap from Notre Dame. They go in there and they stumble at home, and that was at home.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm still in my robe, so I hope you don't mind.
We know it's early. It's early, but hey, let's talk about real quick Alabama. I mean, Alabama, the score doesn't indicate how much trouble Alabama was in. Now, Miami is coming up to USF. I know you're making the trip up. Unfortunately, I'm going to be at the tailgate. We got our tailgate party that weekend. I'm missing that game. I'm so upset about it. But what do you think about USF and Alabama and Miami? Should they watch? I mean, my son was a little worried about USF. I mean, should Miami be a little concerned or what?
Hey, you got to be concerned about every team you play.
Yeah.
Ask Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You got to be concerned. Can't take anybody lightly. They got a real good team, chance to make a run. You get them down, you got to step on it. If you watch a game yesterday, you saw Mario get a little upset because they kind of took their foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Taking the game for granted. He got all over them. Came back out second half, stepped back on the gas again.
Yeah.
But, can't take anybody lightly. USF, I'll be at that game. Actually, the Whale is coming up in his private jet.
Nice.
And we're going to meet there and looking forward to it. But they can't take their foot off the gas. Get them down. You got to keep them down.
Yeah,
No.
USF is going to be USF. After watching them play Alabama yesterday, that was the first game on the Miami schedule that I said we cannot go in there and play them like the Miami of old, taking people for granted, because that is going to be a battle. That game against USF.
I agree. Be a tough game. Matter of fact, some of the predictions beginning of the year, I think I told Mike, I said a lot of people were picking South Florida to beat us.
Yeah.
I think I told you. So you can't take anybody for granted. Nobody.
No. They better and I think the team makeup just is set where I think they're just mentally tough. They seem like it's that way. I don't know. This team feels a little bit different. So I'm hoping, because that's the thing that worries me. I always go back to that Georgia Tech game and Cristobal, and it's like, oh man, I'm waiting for that moment, to happen, and hoping.
Well, hopefully you don't.
So definitely.
That's on the sideline though, but they look good in all phases of the game right now. I know what you call it, the Florida team. They're not a big opponent, the Rattlers, but they beat them like they're supposed to.
Right, like they're supposed to. That's right.
Beat them by 50 or whatever it was, and they beat them like they're supposed to. We had a guy, that idiot that comes on your show that said, talking about our soft schedule. We don't make.
Oh, Ultra. Yeah. He just, he was the one who said that Florida was going to beat the shit out of us. Now all of a sudden, Florida stinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you take what those guys say with a grain of salt.
I don't listen to nobody.
No.
Except Carmenouche.
Well, Carmenouche got you the upset. Now let's talk about your lock, because the lock is today. And I told everyone we've got a contest. If you guys aren't watching on Monday, you definitely tune in on Monday, because that's when Uncle Cheech drops some knowledge on you guys, get you right for making a little scuttle. So the lock of the week, you were at like 75+%, whatever it was over last season. So we hit the first one. So the pot's up to 190. We got $100 on your lock of the week. That's paying out a 200. So that's going to get us up even higher. So what are you looking at with your lock of the week? Are you standing by it, or you're not sure?
No, I'm going to stand by. Miami always starts fast. Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I've heard, they're healthy. I don't see no reason why they can't cover. At home, they're usually good the first few games of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fall apart, maybe game 4. But I expect them to win this game.
Yeah.
I'll be there myself, so I'll be leaving and starting to get ready in a little while. Actually, I'm meeting the Whale down there.
Nice.
He lives down there, and so do I. So we're gonna get together. We're starting to bond.
Hey, he's not a bad guy to bond with. I hung out with him when I was down there, and watching that man work on the tables.
I saw that. I called him up last week and said, hey, the Cheech, I got to pick up a couple complimentary gifts from the casino. I said, oh, okay, give me a call later. Called me back and said I went in there and made a couple spins. He said he walked out the door with $800 and his gift.
Yeah.
Man knows how to play.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I was never really into the table games and all that business.
Well, I watch it, but Greg, I know your wife's a Dolphins fan. I mean, is she
Yep.
feeling good about that lock of the week? I mean, is the household all in on Miami too, or what?
Nellie's a Dolphins fan, but she's not. She doesn't really just watch the game and keep up with it. Now, if the Dolphins win, I say, "Hun, the Dolphins won." She's like, "Oh, that's good." She's a Dolphins Cowboys fan. You know what I'm saying? She likes the Dolphins because she grew up liking the Dolphins, but she's not one that's gonna be sitting there on Sunday watching. Oh, come on, Dolphins, come on, win. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. But she always is a Dolphin fan. But she's a Cowboys fan because look, she got a Micah Parsons and a Lamb jerseys ready for the game.
I like it. I like it. So I don't want predictions from Cheech because we can't have any jinxes. We can't have anything. But I mean, how do you think this game? I mean, do you think this is the game of the week on Sunday? Do you think it's going to live up to the hype? Do you think it's going to be a close game? Do you think it's
Dallas game?
thoughts?
The Dallas game you're talking about?
Yeah.
All depends on the quarterback play. What's his name? Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he had nothing to jump up and down about. In fact, he's only played 3-4 games since I gave him my big money.
Yeah. No,
If they don't
injuries.
play well, they lose. Period. I don't care how good they say they are.
Yeah.
If he plays
I
well,
hope-
it could be back and forth. I mean, you guys got a formidable team, but I wouldn't bet on this game myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah. I
It's only
feel
like 2.5, right, Greg?
I'd stay away from this game.
And I feel like I said earlier, Watson has to have a game today that would be a signature game for his career. That's how good he has to be to win this. And it's like when you shaking that propane tank, all the gas is out of it, and you're like, oh man, then all of a sudden you get this one last whiff, just enough to start that grill or something, but it's been empty for a while, and then all of a sudden you get that whiff. That's what he's got to have today. And if he does have a signature day today, he won't have one for the rest of the season because he's not coming back to
the end of the season.
Huh?
He makes it without getting
Yeah.
to the season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get into predictions. It's going to be a tough game. We're going to it's
They got a good team. The guy they took off the bench there, Falco.
Yeah, Falco.
They got him to the playoffs. I mean, let's face it. He's 50 years old, comes off the bench, gets some players. So I got a good team around him. It's all going to depend on the quarterback play.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's
I'm
going to be a
looking
tough
forward to the
game.
game actually, but I wouldn't. I'm going to watch it. I wouldn't put my money on this game.
No.
Yeah. They let Falco go too.
Yeah. Well, I hear dogs bark. I hope no one's sneaking up on Uncle Cheech. Not to the back of the head.
I got a 9mm next to my bullet. I'll be their last.
Hey, that dog back there saying, "Go Cowboys! Go Cowboys!"
Yeah, I hope so.
Cowboys.
All right, Uncle Cheech. Well, I know we want to pop in. Obviously, had a great upset. Get that lock in. You guys can see Uncle Cheech every Monday on the show.
Before I leave, don't forget I got my other game, Cincinnati at New England.
Yes.
Cincinnati, I'm giving 8.5. I think they should handle New England easily. They got a quarterback. What's his name? Jacoby or
Yeah. Well, yeah, Brissett.
Yeah,
he's not
Brissett,
Burrow. Long Burrow stays healthy. That's no keys. Healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy team.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All righty. Uncle
All right,
Cheech,
Cheech, good to see you again.
We'll
I'm
see
going
you
to
on
go.
Monday.
Get ready to do a little tailgating now and go ready to go.
Yes,
Down
sir.
to Joe Robbie or whatever the name of the places these days.
Yeah. Well, Hard Rock. Hard Rock.
Hard knocks.
All
Joe
righty.
Robbie.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. All right. Well, Uncle Cheech is always good for some laughs, and he's good for some predictions. And like I said, it's a great opportunity to be part. Like I said, it's a great opportunity to win a little Scott All. We're giving back. So if you guys don't know, be on there Monday. It's an easy way to enter. It's free, and you can be part of it. And like I said, if he wins it, your name goes in the hat. And at the end of the year, when that money totals up, it's a 50-50 split. It could be as much as $1,700. It could be as low as nothing if he doesn't hit his locks. But he's been pretty damn good. We should have asked him his lock on Dak Prescott getting a contract or moving on from Dallas. So you and I talked before the show. A little surprised that, and I'm looking at my ticker, just seeing if anything drops before the game as we're on air, but a little surprised the Dak Prescott contract didn't get done yet. Now, let me just put this in perspective for a lot of you guys. If Dak Prescott contract doesn't get done, he says he doesn't like to negotiate during the season, and he has no problem playing it. He was on an interview with Troy Aikman. I think he's always being a politically, kind of business guy, and he never says nothing bad. He says it doesn't bother him. It would bother me if my company treated me this way. It would bother anybody. But he said he's honoring his contract. He's not being a distraction. He's going to work, and you got to commend him for that. And if my attitude was, if you don't have a problem with it, why the hell should I? So I'm kind of over that part of it. But we have to talk about the ramifications of what it could be, because I think the Cowboys are playing with fire. If he plays out his contract and he walks, $45 million of dead money the Cowboys are paying next season. Are you okay with it? I don't think they keep him if it's open free agent. I think the Raiders, I think the Giants, I think there's teams out there that'll pay more than what Dallas would pay. And Jerry will come back to us saying, we wanted him, but it just got too high and we couldn't mortgage the future, all this kind of stuff. So he's going to play the game that needs to be played. But what would you want? I mean, what do you want, or what do you see in Dak Prescott? What do you guys, and what do you guys in the chat think about it as well?
Real quick, though, before I answer that, some guy asked me about the chain. Hit me up on Facebook, Gregory Girard. My TikTok is Gregory Girard 146, but hit me up on Facebook, Gregory Girard, and I can tell you exactly where I got it from, and the girl on Facebook who does all these. Anyway, as far as Dak, Jerry's going to sign Dak. It's going to be, and I'm not a crystal ball reader, but I think it'll be before game 5. Jerry will sign Dak, because Jerry, as much as he's blustering, his ego is this, and he talks all this smack, Jerry ain't stupid. Jerry knows that $45 million is going to hurt. Jerry knows that Dak is going to get the money that's out there. Jerry knows there's a possibility Dak could go to the New York Giants. Jerry knows that Dak is going to get paid. So if Jerry pays Dak, then Jerry doesn't have to worry about Dak leaving and we starting all over again. Jerry's made some very, very bad blunders over the years. But by far, this would be the most cataclysmic, craziest catastrophe of a move if he lets Dak Prescott get away. He needs to stop listening to the outside noise of pundits always blaming the lowest hanging fruit, Dak, for everything, when it's not always Dak's fault. Dak gives us the best chance to go to a Super Bowl. And somebody on here, I forgot who it was, said no quarterback that's been on the team 8 years ever went to the Super Bowl. Well, we don't even know tomorrow is going to be sunshine. Everything happens, and the unexpected happens all the time. I'll never look at a statistic like that and say Dak isn't going to get us there. I believe Dak is going to get us there. I truly believe he's going to get us there. Jerry just needs to pay the man and move on. Then he can have the rest of the season, the other 12 games, to think about how he's going to pay Micah next year. But I don't think Dak will get past game 5 without being signed. Jerry's not stupid. Like you said, he waits to the end of the season when these people come in with these big old contracts, and somebody's going to sell the farm to get Dak, and then Jerry's behind the curve. And then Dak's not going to sit there and say, well, I'll take peanuts just to stay with Dallas. Hell no, he's got a child now. He's thinking about his family, and he knows got the bad taste in his mouth about what you just did with Lamb. So Michael's thinking about that too, Jerry. Michael's thinking about the same thing. So pay Dak, and I wish you pay him right away, but I think he'll get signed before game 5 of the season. Yeah.
I mean, I would say, this with Dak. I mean, he typically is not going to, at least that's what he says. His agent, they're not going to negotiate during the season. I think when the season starts, I think it's just going to play itself out, and it'll play out, but I don't think he'll be here. No matter what happens, whether they go to the Super Bowl, whether they get bounced in the playoffs, whatever happens, I think a team is just going to pay more than what the Cowboys will. They have nothing in place. And the thing that's just frustrating is I'm a fan of the team. We talked about it. whoever's a quarterback, that's who I'm going to support.
Right.
If this was your plan, then you should have went to Dak and just said, look, I know you got a no trade clause. We're probably just going to move on. Let's find you. Let's find you a place. Why don't you find a place, go find and see where you want to go and give you a contract. And then everyone can just kind of part ways, and it is what it is. And that's just the way it goes. They didn't do that. So what they're going to have is a season of distraction, because it's going to be talked about every week. Every week he's not signed, it's going to be a conversation. So that's something that CD's got to answer. Tyler Smith has already had to answer it. You're going to have Micah Parsons on his podcast going to be talking about it. Diggs. So it's just constant distraction. It's constant distraction. So they should have just got rid of the distraction if that was their plan. And then you really don't have anything in the works. And then I would hear people say, well, you go get a rookie. You go get a Fitzpatrick type. You go get a Keenum. You go get this and that. We see how that works out.
Right.
And it's very hard. I mean, how many busts are in the at quarterbacks in the NFL? You want to go get a rookie? Fine. Maybe by the time the rookie's ready, you don't have the team ready. This is a ready now team. And the thing I would say with Dak Prescott, you're going to be in the playoffs. Now, how far are you going to playoffs? That's how good the team is. And you've got to have luck on your side as well. I mean, there's a reason why there's not that many quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl. I mean, I think in Dak's tenure, there's 4 quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl in 8 years. So it's not an easy thing to do, and it's not all on the quarterback. It's a team game, and I listen to every player, and I listen to every guy who's strapped up, a helmet. I don't really listen to the people and the fans. I don't know. I've been in a locker room like that. Dak Prescott's a leader. Dak Prescott busts his ass. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And there's a reason why the team signed Trevor Lawrence to a huge contract. What has he done so far? You just want he's going to get you an opportunity, right? He's going to be the Jags' best opportunity. Burrow said he didn't win a Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, he got there, but if you didn't win one, so what? He got his contract. Herbert blew one of the biggest leads in Super Bowl history. He gets a contract.
Goff.
Cousins always gets a contract. It's the nature of the business that the NFL owners have created. Yep. I mean, they're the ones paying these quarterbacks what they're paying them. The quarterbacks, they're only going to get what the market desires. It's just like in any other job. Look at running backs. There was a time the running backs were some of the highest paid players in the NFL, paid more than quarterbacks sometimes, when the Emmitt Smith days and the Barry Sanders days and the Walter Payton. But there's supply and demand. And the running back market now, I mean, you could pick up a pretty damn good running back for a couple million a year. I mean, that's just the way it is now. That's just the market that you live in. You may see it happen with receivers. As these young receivers come up, you may get owners like, man, I think we just trade our receiver before he hits a contract, and then just draft another one and replace him, because the receivers coming out of the NFL or out of college are just so much more prepared than they were in years past, because the college offenses are now running, spreads, and they're running those kind of offenses where you're throwing a lot. So I don't like to mix business with pleasure. So I don't want to talk about the contract and the money. I want to say Dak Prescott gives you the best opportunity to get to playoffs, which gives you the best opportunity to get to a Super Bowl. Why would you mess with that? That's just my, I don't know. Am I crazy, Greg?
No. And like I said, and since we've been knowing each other, you've never heard me dog Dak, because I know it's not just Dak. He's the lowest hanging fruit. Everybody points at the quarterback when a team loses. There are two playoff games that come to mind. When we played Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers in Dallas, it was that long sideline catch in the last minute of the game, and we still scored 30-some points, and we should have won that game, but they scored maybe 32 or 33, and we scored 31. That wasn't Dak's fault. Defense shouldn't have allowed somebody to score that much. The only game I can say and that we didn't produce was that game against San Francisco the year before.
With Garoppolo, the one I was at. The one in Dallas where we didn't manage that last drive, and we should have won. And then the next year in San Francisco, we lost 19-12 or something like that. And we lost that one when the offense should have produced more. Those two games, I give that on Dak.
because Dak should find a way to get it down there when the defense did exactly what they were supposed to do. But
Yeah.
last year, all them folks that came out talking about Dak, please, folks, 42 damn points. Dak didn't give up no 42 damn points. And that was on the defense totally. And that last year was the best year we had to go to the NFC Championship last year, I felt. Now, anytime since Dak been on the team that we haven't gone that far in the playoffs, other than those 2 San Francisco games, I can't think of anything else where Dak didn't produce. The defense has to do their job, and the defense is so simple. Defense could sit back and say, we ain't got to worry about the fans yelling at us, because the first thing they're going to do is yell at Dak. Dak is the one. Y'all need to get rid of Dak. Folks, I don't care whether you're a Cowboys fan, whether you're an Eagles fan, whether you're a Navarre High School fan. Listen to me carefully. Before you automatically start blaming the quarterback, analyze the game. What did the defense do? If the defense is giving up 30 points in a playoff game, you can't blame the quarterback. In the playoff game, that's when things get tight. That's where everybody plays and the numbers barely make it there, and it's a tight game. But if a defense gives up 30-something points, you can't expect the quarterback to go out there and throw up 50 points all the time. Defense got to do their job. So I'm sticking with Dak until his legs fall off. And if Jerry makes that mistake, it won't surprise me, because I've seen some catastrophe he's made way back from the time he bought the team, and starting with Jimmy Johnson all the way up to now. And like I told you, and I told a lot of people, Jerry does one move every single year that I feel sabotages the team. Every year, there's one decision he does that sabotages the team. Let's see what that one's going to be this year.
Well, right now it seems like not signing Dak, or not at least moving on from him, because the distraction is just going to be created. And like I said, I mean, I get it. I'm a fan. Do I get frustrated? Of course.
Yeah.
But Dak Prescott gets you to the playoffs.
Yes,
and all you can ask is for the opportunity to playoffs. Now, the team has to play well. Team, T-E-A-M, has to play well. And unfortunately, they haven't together. Like, Dak is going to take the blame of the Rams game, but the defense gave up like 400 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dak's going to take the blame of the San Francisco game, but that was just a great game.
It was.
There's really no blame. The better team won.
Yes.
I know people don't want to hear that. The better team won that day.
Right.
2 seasons ago. That's just the way it is. I mean, you have to get things right. You have to get things right. Everything has to go. The Green Bay game is rookie year. I mean, Dak's going to take the loss on that. Go look at his numbers in the play. Look at his playoff stats.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff stats are pretty damn good when you compare him to other quarterbacks. The record is not, but it's a reflection of the team. And I go back to it, and I will say it over and over. Go look at games. The great Troy Aikman, who I love Troy Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at Super Bowl 30. Go look. The defense won that game.
Mm-hmm.
Emmitt Smith ran for like 48 yards.
Mm-hmm.
We passed for like under 200 yards. It was the defense stepped up and won the Super Bowl. Now, Troy Aikman's going to hoist the trophy, and that's a ring, and he deserves it. Don't get me wrong. It's a team game, and make no mistake about it. But that was a defensive win, period. It was. Look at some of the Tom Brady Super Bowls. Some was him. Some was the defense. It's a team win. Peyton Manning, the great Peyton Manning, in the Super Bowl that he won with the Colts against the Bears. Go look at his numbers. Shit. I mean, that's real. But he won. So he's going to be looked at as the greatest guy. A guy who threw 4 or 5 touchdowns and threw for 300 yards against the Packers in his rookie season and brought him back and left the field, with the game, going to go to overtime or opportunity to win. Yeah. That's on him. It's his fault. He lost. I mean, but they touch the ball every time. So the quarterback gets all the credit. They get all the blame. Yep. It's the nature of it. I get it. It's not a big deal. And Bobby, ease up. Don't be so stupid. Don't be so stupid. I know you're an Eagle fan. You got one ring, so I know the 3 makes you a little jealous. I'm giving examples of team wins. Team wins. The quarterback's going to get credit for the win no matter what, whether he has the best game, plays an average game, or plays his worst game. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it goes. It comes with the territory. Dak, I think, deals with it. He deals with it, at least in the media. He can't say it doesn't. He says it doesn't bother him. I don't know how it doesn't. But anyway, it's just so.
But I haven't seen a game that Dak has played where if all this interference bothered him, you could see it in the game. I haven't seen that. To me, Dak is a winner. And then when Dallas wins, you don't hear those same people saying, "Oh, Dak did it. Dak lit it up." It's always an excuse. Well, Dallas didn't play nobody. They didn't play nobody. Or this happened. I'm like, I don't know why they want to just give it on Dak. But even Cowboys fans, when I see Cowboys fans blaming games on Dak, and I know Dak didn't lose that game, I always wonder, I said, should I be sending a bandwagon certificate to that person? Because obviously they're not watching the game.
Yeah.
If you watch the game and you come up with an intellectual thought about how the game was won or lost, you don't have to study the stats. Just look at the game. Then I can understand. But when you automatically throw out Dak, especially the Green Bay, all them Cowboys fans that said Dak lost the game to Green Bay, I should have went on my printer, printed out 1 million bandwagon certificates and got their addresses and sent it to them because they obviously wasn't paying attention to the game. But Dak, you got my support 1 billion%. 1 billion%. You're going to get us there. You're our best chance to get us there.
And I love Bobby. I mean, because you just basically validated everything I said. He, in the game against the Packers, he threw 2 interceptions, but he still won. And they count that as a win. But anyone who watched the game knows Saquon Barkley
won that game.
Won the game.
That's right.
And the defense played well. The defense played well. It's a team game. I mean, that's what it is. Football is the ultimate team sport. Now, does Dak have to play better in some Super Bowl, in the playoff? Sure. But all the Cowboys have to elevate. The superstars got to be superstars in the playoffs. That's the way it is. I mean, Micah Parsons would probably be the first to tell you he's got to play better in the playoffs. Diggs, people forgetting that San Francisco game. It's such a battle back and forth. Yep. Diggs kind of let up a little bit and didn't run through. Now, could he have been worried about a helmet to helmet? He could have been worried about a fine. I mean, the way the NFL is today, I'm not going to put it on Diggs, but his mindset is like, if he would have hit Kittle, the ball, he wasn't catching the ball. Right. That was the only play that the San Francisco 49ers really made. That whole game. It was a great game. Yeah. And sometimes you lose those games. I mean, as much as I want to win every game, and sometimes the better team wins. I mean,
but Eagles, I'm going to tell you, Eagle fans out there now, got a couple things for you. We got 5. I always say, got 5? Until you catch them, you ain't relevant to me. And number 2, y'all are one-hit wonder right now. Let Saquon get hurt. You got no running game. You got no backup. You got rid of your running back. You got nothing. You got wide receivers, which means everybody will be keying on them because you have no running game. I give you respect because y'all got Saquon. And when y'all got Saquon, I said, that is a smart move by the Eagles because they are smart enough to know Saquon is not washed up. And what he brings to a new venue in the same division, he's going to do that to light up them Giants. Giants, you are stupid. You are downright stupid for being arrogant enough to think you can get rid of Saquon and that you're going to be fine when you got Jack Daniels back there drinking whiskey, can't throw the ball to a receiver anywhere, and your best running back you had was Saquon, and Saquon's going to light y'all ass up, and I'm going to watch that. I don't like Philly, but I don't hate them. I don't like them, but when they play the Giants, I want them to light y'all ass up just because of Saquon, how y'all did them. But if Saquon gets hurt—
I feel that way for the record.
If Saquon gets hurt, Philly, you are in trouble. So do on that. And then in the meantime, get FOMO before y'all can step on out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I know they say 28 years, I'm 49, so thankfully I saw 3 of them.
Take them away.
I'm happy. I mean, I get, hey, Eagle fans, and I love Carl, and I love my guys in here that are Eagle fans that support the channel. It's a lot of fun. And Bobby, it's all, I respect Philly as much as we trash talk. I respect them, but you got one Super Bowl, and I don't care if it's last year. I don't care if it's 80 years, 60 years, whatever it is. 58 years. It took you 52 years to get a Super Bowl ring. You can't, no one's ever going to take that away.
Never.
No one's ever going to take that. That's your Super Bowl. Well-deserved, great season. You got one.
That's
hold on to it. Hold on to it.
Mike.
Hold on to it. So, but get by.
Eagles fans. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
And I'm looking for Says. I want Says this year. Can we get Says this year, Greg?
Baby? Get him. And then talk.
But yeah. but hold on to that ring as long as possible. And like I said, I always respected Saquon. I wouldn't have signed him for that money because I just don't know his health and the way the running backs are. I think you can get, money well spent in other areas. But hey, man, he played a hell of a game.
Yes.
He's got a chip on his shoulder that you could see it. And if he plays that way, then you know what, man, he's going to be a problem if that's the way it's going to be. Now, he's never beaten Dallas.
No.
So he's got to do something that he's never done before. He's got to beat Dallas, and we're going to see what happens. So anyway,
Mike,
go ahead.
But Mike, here's the reason why he's never beat Dallas is because they've always just had him.
He's never played well against Dallas.
He hasn't played well against us. True. But the rest of the team played like trash too.
No, I don't.
I would have signed Saquon because of the fact of how Philly, like I said, we go way back, Mike, with the Cowboys. And I've seen how players are when a team thinks they're washed up or they don't want to pay them and they let them go and they come to the same division. And all of a sudden, oh my God, what did we do? You can't underestimate the mentality and vengeance of a player that you let go that still had a lot in the tank because you didn't want to pay him and it was business. And he comes to another team in your division. They are going to try to light you up. And Saquon, if he came to Dallas, he would try to light New York Giants up, and he would do the same thing with us. The only problem is a lot of people want to pass on him because of his injuries. He's good about the first quarter of a season, and then all of a sudden there's an injury that puts him out, and they didn't want to have to deal with that.
I think for them it was just kind of the way, like, because you saw the Hard Knocks thing, you kind of saw how it went down.
Yeah.
And
they were arrogant.
For the GM to call like it was no big deal, like the way that Saquon answered the phone, I'm thinking to myself, dude, can you not read a room? Because he's not coming back. If you ain't signing him, he's not going to come back and say, hey, I got this offer. Do you guys want to match it?
Right.
He's gone. I mean, and that's what I say is these guys can say the right things whenever they want, but these guys are competitors. These guys got pride. Mm-hmm. No different than you and I or anyone in the chat, man. If you feel that your employer is not treating you with the respect,
that's right.
I would tell you now, if my employer told me, hey, go shop your services somewhere else, if you get a better deal, come back to us and we'll see if we can match it, I will never do it. I've done it. I've went to other companies and left, and I never gave my former employer the opportunity because I'm like, you know what? If you weren't going to compensate me what I deserved now,
right,
why does it take someone else to come in here and do that? Right. Forget it. I went with the other one, and my goal was to hurt my previous employer. So that's why I say to just kind of round the, put a bow on the Dak Prescott. If they don't sign him, he's not coming back and saying, oh, well, the Raiders offered me this 5-year deal for this. Are you willing to match it? And if you are, I'd love to stay in Dallas because you guys treat me so well. He's leaving. And if the ownership's fine with it, okay. And if there's a percentage of the fan bases that's fine with it, go ahead. But when the shit is, when we're back to, the world of all that revolving door of quarterbacks, because you look at these teams, it's very hard to find a quarterback in this world today. And there's great ones. I mean, you think of the shittiest quarterbacks in the NFL. They're still the greatest quarterbacks in the world. As crappy as you can make fun of some of these they're still the greatest quarter. And there's only 31 jobs, 32 jobs.
Yeah. Because 1% of everybody gets up to the NFL. And
Yeah.
if Jerry, I'm gonna tell you, and if you think you can go up on the top of that hill and the grass is greener on the other side, full of quarterbacks waiting to just step in and take us to the next level, you are smoking on a pipe, son. It ain't gonna happen. And don't even think about it, Jerry. I'm telling you, I know all fans feel this way. I wish I can sit down for 5 minutes with Jerry. And Jerry probably say, I give him 5 minutes, but I don't give a damn what he said. But I want to walk away knowing that I got a chance to look him face to face and tell Jerry how I feel about this Dak situation. Because if we don't re-sign Dak, I'm telling you, it's starting all over. And those folks that aren't as old as me, to know all the way back to the Don Meredith days on up to now, on those low years where we didn't have quarterbacks and we went out there and got everybody else that on a dime, on a nickel or a dime, and couldn't do jack, but I'm still supporting them, still wearing my gear. You don't know pain. You don't know pain. You ain't been on this planet long enough to feel the pain that I felt from way back with the Cowboys when we didn't have a quarterback. And what's the biggest bust next to Jamarcus
Russell.
The biggest bust next to him, what's the dude name? He played with the Chargers. Biggest bust. And Jerry went and signed him 1 year.
Oh, Ryan Leaf. I went to the game. I went to his first game. I drank the Kool-Aid thinking he was gonna be our savior.
He should have signed me instead of Ryan Leaf. And I had to live through that. And we are there. We're loaded. We're there, folks. We got the keys. Don't get rid of Dak. Pay Dak now. Ease his mind. Don't give everybody else an opportunity to jack that market up where you can't pay him. And then you're going to lose $45 million on top of that somebody else could have got. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Jerry, I know you listen to the Cowboys cave. You might think I'm crazy. I don't care. It ain't about me, Jerry. It's about the Dallas Cowboys. Do the right thing by Dak. Do it.
Well, hopefully it gets done. I've kind of moved on to think it's not going to. But we got him for this year. And I'm not going to, the only thing I will say that I'm tired of seeing, and I love my guys who do it, but, the Last Dance. I mean, I equate the Last Dance to Michael Jordan and Super Bowls in their last, or NBA championship. I mean, it's not that kind of departure. I mean, it's a departure of a Danny White. It's a departure of a Tony Romo. I mean, if it were going to be the end of an era for him in Dallas, if that ends up happening, I still not sure it will, but we'll see what happens. But it just you move on and maybe, hey, I would love nothing more as a fan to have them grab a quarterback and he ends up being a Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes and get that kid at Nebraska that he looks like Patrick Mahomes' kid. I mean, I've never seen someone I know they're Patrick Mahomes works with him and stuff. It just looks like his twin. It was pretty amazing to watch. I mean, the mannerisms.
He might get in NFL and play like Peter Paul. He might get in NFL and play like Peter Paul. Because in college, you got few grown men playing against boys.
Yeah.
Those that stand out in college are grown men that stand out among boys. But then they get to the pros, they're grown men playing against grown men in a faster society of the game. So you can cut your hair and look like Patrick Mahomes all you want. You might get scalped when you get in the NFL.
Well, hey, we're going to go to keys to victory, but I want to give you one more little program and note is we've got the Autograph app. It's co-founded by Tom Brady. We're partners with him in the Cowboys Cave. You can download it for free at Apple or Android. It's free. It basically rewards your fandom. You can follow, get all the alerts of find out when Dak signs, you're going to get the alert. There's some Cowboys Cave content going on there. It's been a great partnership. It doesn't cost you anything. Go there, reference Mike Tag when you sign up, and it supports the Cowboys Cave. but it rewards your fandom. And they're doing a giveaway. The first big giveaway is a CD Lamb jersey. I think it ends today. Is your opportunity to get in there and register. But basically, you collect points for reading content and stuff that you would do normally. So definitely, if you guys haven't already, download that. Give me your feedback too. I just had a meeting with them. They're now partnered with I believe it's FanDuel and some of the betting apps, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of great things going on with the Autograph app. So it's a great fun partnership. And I encourage you and appreciate any support on there, downloading and checking it out. So make sure you do that as well. So this gets into game. Let's get focused back on the task at hand is winning week 1, going up to a hostile environment, going up to the dog pound, going up to Cleveland, a road test to start the season, man. And it's going to be a test. There's going to be no cakewalk. What are the keys to victory? We could go back and forth. Would love to hear your guys' comments. And then after this, we're going to get a prediction. So don't give me all your predictions yet. Save those for later because we want to post them all. But what are your keys to victory? What needs to happen for this Cowboys team to get out of Cleveland with a road victory?
We need to start fast on offense. Guyton, BB, the rest of the line, I know they're going to give Dak the time he needs. Dak make good decisions. Take what they give us, and then go downfield and score. Because the more we score on each drive, whether it's field goal, touchdown, the more desperate they're going to get to throw that long ball. And then our guys in the back will be feast or famine. In defense, Tank, today is the day you shine. Now, we were talking about who is somebody that you think is going to come out of nowhere. Tank, today is the day you show me that you're not just the captain of the defense. You're the damn king. You shine today. I want to be able to talk more about you on defense than Michael Parsons. And if you do, then you're going to be on the level of Myles Garrett for this day, because that's what it's going to take to put pressure on Watson, and he'll give us the ball. You put pressure on him, he's going to give us the ball. Yeah.
I think line of scrimmage. That's where this game is going to be won. And, keys to victory, you can probably say that in almost any football game. So I'm probably being pretty general with it. But Dallas has to be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. And I think a running game will help, everything. So if the Cowboys can get their running game going, I'm not as excited with the running game as my man Greg, but Greg, you got me a little positive. You got me thinking. I was like, all right, well, maybe Greg has the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do in the cave. We got to help each other out if we're doubting anything. But I think fast start, of course, like Greg said, the Cowboys typically, when they get in rhythm early, they kind of run. When they start slow, then it gets a little scary. Sometimes panic sets in, which hopefully this team's mentally tough enough to get past that point, because I think that's been their Achilles heel for a number of years. So I would say dominating both sides of the line of scrimmage. I agree with you, Tank. This is a game where he can kind of, get and I love Tank. I'm a huge Tank fan. I know his comments at the end of the season rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, justifiably. I don't know if he was trying to protect somebody, maybe a coach or something. I don't know, but it didn't sit well, and he hears it every time he posts something. I always see there's going to be people that comment, and like I said, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity for him to kind of get back into the love of the Cowboys fans. Not saying he has to, but that's, we all want to feel some love, right? So that's his opportunity to get back with the fans. I think Parsons needs to have a big game, and I think the X factor for me is the guy in the, on my shoulder there, Jake Ferguson. I think Jake Ferguson has to. This is a game where if it's a heavy load of Jake Ferguson, I think it sits well for the Cowboys.
Yeah, because Jake is not just a possession receiver. Like Schultz was a possession receiver and good, consistent. But Jake gets the ball and pushes it down your throat. Jake will knock you on your ass to get those extra yards. And that's what I love in him. Because like I said, Dallas Goedert is who Dallas wanted in the draft a while back. And the Eagles knew we were going to get him, so they moved up. Dallas Goedert plays like Jake Ferguson. And Jake Ferguson is the tight end that we haven't had since Witten. And when Witten's older days, he was more possession. But Jake
Yeah.
Ferguson get the ball and run it down your gut and then stand over you and say, I'm coming back. And that's going to be huge if we hit him a lot, because then that's going to free up Carr. That's going to free up Lamb. That's going to free up Flournoy. And then if the offensive line opens the holes for a running game, oh my God, the floodgates are going to open. The dog pound is going to get knocked over.
Yeah. And Steve has a question. What concerns you more, Cowboys running the ball or Cowboys stopping the run? That's a good question, Steve.
Yeah. Well, stopping the run, Chubb isn't there. And let me tell you, if you watch Chubb before he got hurt early last season, Chubb was a beast. And nobody could stop Chubb. And I say, Cleveland's going places this year. And then when Chubb got hurt on the goal line, it was horrific. I said, oh, that's it for their running game. They don't have the running game that they had with Chubb. Chubb is their running game. Now, I don't know who they got back there now, but they shouldn't be running
he had
a
decent year filling in for him. I mean, he averaged 4 yards a carry, which really isn't. I mean, 4 yards a carry average is that's kind of like the NFL average. So it's not an exceptional. They didn't have an exceptional running game. But I think I probably have more concern. Man, it's like 50-50 for me. I'm not confident in either one, to be honest with you. I think if they have the ability to run the ball on us, I think we need to prove we could stop the run. Is that fair to say? Like I'm not sold in us on stopping the run until I see it. And they should be able to stop the run because, like Greg said, they don't have Chubb. Their running game is not top tier without Chubb. There's no mistake about it. I'm not confident in our running game because I saw it last year and I don't think they did enough to improve it. They got to win me on both sides. I know I'm waffling, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think our running game, I'm telling you, and if Dalvin Cook is suited up for the game, if he's suited up for the game, I'm telling you, man, our running game is going to be nice because we got the offensive line now to open those holes. And that's all Zeke and Dalvin Cook and Rico Dowdle. That's all they ask. Just open the hole and let me do the rest. And our offensive line does that, they're going to take off. They are going to take off, man. I'm so looking forward to Zeke doing the Zeke and proving everybody that we shouldn't have got rid of him when we did. Because he played hurt that last season. He's not hurt anymore. And Dalvin Cook, I know what he can bring to us. And Rico Dowdle is that strong back. So our running backs get loose, it's a long day for Cleveland.
Yeah. Now, if we see that we're running the ball early, I mean, I'm going to have my feet up. I'm going to be relaxed. Yeah. I'm going to be antsy until I see that, but I'm going to have my feet up and relax because, there's no, this isn't going to be an easy game.
No, it's not.
And this is one that, the rule of thumb in the old ways of football, and when you looked at your schedule, is win your home games, split your road.
Yeah.
Win your home games, split your road, you're 12-4. Now, obviously, we have 17 games to change a little bit, but win your home games, split your road. So it's hard to win on the road in the NFL. So if the Cowboys were able to pull off the upset, and they're underdogs, in this game, if they're able to pull off the upset, it says a lot to me about this team and some of the mentality. And that's where my question is with this team is the mental makeup, the mental toughness. It will say a lot. Now, I'm going to say, too, is if the Dallas loses a heartbreaker, it's not, I mean, the sky's not falling and I'm not going to go, jumping off a bridge somewhere either, which we'll get into some predictions and kind of see where it's at. But I think if the Dallas Cowboys have the show that they can run the ball against this defense, I would be very impressed. I'd be very impressed. So,
so Watson, like I said, he's got to play the game of his lifetime, I think, to beat us. Because their defense alone, I don't think is going to beat us. Man, if you look at us now and compare us to last year, from the DBs to from the linebackers to the defensive line and the offensive line, we improved substantially. We improved substantially on all of those, and we added a hell of a wide receiver. And I think we're there. I really think we're there. Now, one component we never talk about, and I mentioned this a couple of times, Cleveland's weather. I'm glad we're not playing them late in the cold time, but that weather, I sure hope it's not raining in Cleveland. I hope it's an even kill for everybody because we'll take advantage of that. I just don't like playing up in Cleveland
Making
when
me
the weather's bad.
you said it too many times. I gotta get a weather
When that weather's soggy and nasty, and that's when the games Cowboys play. That's when it kind of worries me, especially when you're going to Cleveland. First game, everybody's gonna be excited. Their fan base is gonna be off the chain.
Yeah, they're gonna be hyped.
Yeah, they're gonna be hyped, and they're gonna be willing to go out there and prove that they got it. And Watson, I know Watson's gonna be nervous as hell because now Watson starts the season supposed to be fresh, and everybody's looking for Watson to come out as the Watson that they signed, who's no longer there. So, and Cooper's gonna do Cooper. You ain't. I don't care what we do. You're not gonna stop Cooper, but we just got to be able to stop everybody else. Cooper's gonna do Cooper, and if Watson gets time, he'll find Cooper because receivers know where they're running. Corners don't. They have to try to chase them. And the more time a quarterback gets, we saw that last night. The more time that Hurts got last night, the more time he was able to find somebody open and then wide open. So if we don't give Watson that much time and the running game isn't much, it should be Pickens.
It should be. And great for the weather. I checked it, and it's been confirmed by our weather team. It's going to be in the 60s, sunny, great weather for football.
Perfect climate.
I don't think we can ask for anything better there. But it's it's definitely football weather. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to get this thing rolling. So let's bring it down to the next segment. We did this some last year, and I wanted to bring it back, and I need to bring it back more consistently. So I do apologize, but we got our man Eugene Lockhart. He's been a friend of the show. He's been on the show. He's always, and he pops in from time to time, and he talked about his hungry player. Can you hear this, Greg?
They're gonna wake up to women, and they don't understand nothing else. They're not out about glamour. They're not out about the women and girls. Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
So I'm going to play the intro, but that's a long answer to it, and that's what we're looking for. Who is the hungry player that needs that you think is going to be out there? It's not the Zeke's. It's not it could be Zeke now because he's not Zeke of old, but it's not the Dax, the CDs, the Parsons, right? It's those other guys. And let me get to the intro, and then we'll get this thing rolling.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
This is where I want you guys in the chat. Let us know. Let us know who is the hungry player or players to watch. And Greg, I will start with you. We got Tolbert out there. Who are some guys that you think we need to keep an eye on because they're going to make an impact? So it could be one play. Yeah. It could be just one play, but it could be that third down play where you get a stop, or it could be a third down play where you get a big catch. It could be a punt return, or it could be anything. But who is your hungry player to watch or players to watch?
That's a hard one because I'm hoping, which doesn't really answer the question, I'm hoping it's Tank. I'm hoping it's Tank Lawrence. But as far as who I think is going to be the hungriest out there, I'd have to say BB. I think BB is going to be the hungriest to prove that position is his, and no doubt, and to keep that line, keep Dak safe, and keep that and open that hole for our running backs, because all the players know our running backs need some daylight to get out there. Defense, we can go all over the place with defense. I don't know, but my hope is Tank, who I think is going to be the key, is going to be BB.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing with this Cowboys team, and it's what I kind of like about it, is they've got a balance, right? You've got your veterans, but this is still a very young team. If it's not the youngest, it's probably like the second or third youngest team in the NFL. you got 4 guys that were drafted that are pretty much starting, you know, between Carson's and linebacker, Liafau. I always mess it up. So one day I'll get it right if I'm wrong there again. And Beebe and Guyton. And then you look at Flournoy, who's one of these guys that, you know, is he could have an impact in the season. Not a big impact, but he's one of those hungry guys. He might have a catch here, might have something. And then also you look at an Overshown. You got Overshown who didn't get a chance. This is like his rookie year. This is like his rookie season. So there is a lot of youth that is here, and that's hungry. And that's what I'm saying is you need some of these guys that are hungry, like you know, Eugene eloquently said, is you got to have those guys. I mean, you go to any Super Bowl teams through the years. It's not always, it's the Patrick Mahomes, but it's those mid-tier guys.
Yes.
Those mid-tier guys that really make the difference and get you over the top. And we've kind of been lacking that a little bit. So I'm going on the defensive side, and I'm gonna piggyback, you know, what I've seen a few, and I think Overshown. He just came out so strong in training camp and really early preseason last year. I just think he's special, and I'm just excited to see him out on the field. And I think he's going to be one of those guys that could be all over the place. And he may not have 20 tackles, but I think he's going to have an impact somewhere. I think he's going to make a play somewhere. But I mean, I also BB, absolutely. I mean, you want him, you want Guyton, really you want all our rookies to be there, Carson. But Overshown's the one guy that I'm looking at. Diggs, I wouldn't put him as a hungry player only because I think he's a superstar, but I think you can argue coming off an injury, maybe he's, you know, maybe you want to put him in there. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. And I see a lot of it in the chat. Flournoy, I'm seeing a lot of love for him. And you know, I know, you know, we had one of his trainers on, and your friend, Kason, right? Did I say him right? Yeah. And you know, he talked about how special he was and his mindset and this and that. And you saw it. I mean, you see
saw it in preseason.
And I bring you back to Tank Dell. And Tank Dell is a kid that was drafted out of Houston, went to the Texans, and nobody knew much about him. And my brother knew about him because my brother kind of talked trash to him at the USF game because they were losing a lot. And then at halftime, he comes out and points to him and says, "Watch this." And he takes the first play of the second half and goes 80-yard touchdown pass. The rest was history. I knew that guy had some dog in him right there. But he came out of nowhere. So you're going to get those guys that do that. Flournoy could be a guy that if Tolbert does not live up to what we hope he can be as a third receiver, you may see Flournoy, being that hungry guy. But I'm excited with the youth of this team. I don't know about you, Greg, but it just kind of gets me charged up, man. It gets me pumped up. So
I'm excited too, man, because I feel like we got all the keys now. Now,
Ozzy's a good one. Go ahead. Sorry.
On the flip side of that, the two players that can potentially be suspect only because of injury are key players on our defense. Kalen Carson, who has a slight knee injury, and Trayvon Diggs, if his confidence hasn't come back to the point to where he makes those quick turns and pivots like he needs to without even thinking about it. And you better believe Cleveland knows that. And Cleveland knows on each side, let's test out Kalen and see how well that knee is. Let's test out Trayvon to see if he has his confidence back yet. Now, if they're able to succeed against those two, it's going to hurt us because all Watson really wants to do is throw that ball, and he can throw it out the stadium. But if those guys hold their own and our defense puts pressure on Watson, it might be a moot point and throw some interceptions. But I'm really excited about this team because I feel like in the draft and in the free agency, we covered all of our weaknesses. We covered our weaknesses from last year, even though our weaknesses took us to the playoffs. So now we've covered those weaknesses and on the offense and defense, so we should be much better. And it's like in the offseason, people are like, well, we don't know where the Cowboys are going. What are they going to look like? And this and that. I see it now. This could be that year where everybody says, I wouldn't expect it that this year was the year that we go. this could be the year that we go because we covered everything we needed. Now we just need them all to put it together. And Zimmer adding to the team on defense is going to make a huge help on our team because Zimmer is not the Quinn is free, easy going. Zimmer is a tighter ship.
Oh, yeah.
He's a tighter ship. So, man, I'm expecting some real good things. And Flournoy is a beast when he gets the ball. And he's consistent.
Yeah.
So he's Michael Gallup almost 2.0.
Yeah.
Michael Gallup.
And it may, like Flournoy, I mean, you got out of, like someone said, I don't know if he'll be active. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking more long-term down the season as the season progresses. I mean, he definitely has shown, shown a lot, early in preseason. And, it's one of those things. It's like you say, give me the opportunity and what are you going to do with it? And that's what some of these young guys, we talk about the hunger and you talk about a Eugene Lockhart who was a 6th round pick. He talked about they drafted like 2 linebackers or 3 whatever it was. They had all these linebackers on the head of him. They drafted a couple ahead of him. And then on the depth chart, he was like 6th on the depth chart, which usually you don't even make the team. And then Brunick gets hurt. Then he ends up outplaying the other guys. And he ends up having a great all-pro career and comes out of nowhere. You love those stories. And that's where there's a reason why I always say is the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, those in the undrafted guys, there's more of them in the NFL than there is the 1st and the 2nd and 3rd, round pick.
Yes.
Because again, how do you handle the mentality, the mental part of the game and the hunger? So it's going to be fun, man. It is going to be exciting. And you guys, I mean, we've been rolling this thing. We love doing it. And, we're going to have to make this a weekly game day, especially
game day
going. So we got to end it, with predictions. And look, I don't need you to be, no one's being crucified if you're saying, hey, Dallas, they're going to slip up. This is a tough place to play. There's no shame in it. Right. But I would love to get some predictions from the crew here. We got 420 of you guys hanging with us. We'd love to get all 422 now, 424 now hanging with us. And we'd love to get 424 predictions and get this thing rolling. And there's 127-20 Cowboys. Yeah, we love our Canes and Cowboys, Steve. You're another one, man. It's it's looking good, man. I'm loving them. But what do you think, Greg? Break it down and tell us why you're coming with your prediction and give us a score. What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, Flournoy changed his number to 80. So everybody will know if you see 80, that's Flournoy. And Ultra, I hope you're right that Watson does hold on the ball too long. I think I've noticed that too, but I hope you're right. He holds on the ball too long because that'll make him make some mistakes. I'm predicting 34-27. 34-27. That's what I'm predicting. Now, my predictions don't mean a damn thing, but I guess I'm hoping more than I'm predicting. But 34-27, and 27 is a garbage touchdown late in the game for Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of Cowboy wins. We get one, my man Ultra, which I mean that makes me actually feel better because he said the Gators were going to beat. I think he said the Gators were going to beat our Canes by 31-10. I think it was around like that, and so thankfully that makes me feel better because I think maybe Ultra's doing some reverse psychology. I like it. I like the way you're thinking, Ultra. You're my guy. I love it. I love it. Get some reverse psychology. Be that opposite guy. And I said, and of course our other Cowboys hater has them 31-13. So definitely enjoy that. There we got some Canes fans in here. I would say this. It's I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I don't know what the over-under is. Maybe my betting friends can help me. We got a 26-23 extended TD to Turpin. I would say that would be a hungry player. 6 sacks. Wow. I mean, if that happened, I'd be surprised. I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a tough fought game. And I think it's going to be low scoring. I think Dallas 43 is over. So then I've got the under because I've got it 20-17 to 16 Dallas. I think Dallas controls the game, but I don't think they run away with the game. I think they always have kind of the lead and they're always in kind of control. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. This is the one I would say before preseason, like we did our 2 early predictions. I had this as a loss for Dallas. I had Dallas losing the first game, winning the second one. So I changed my mind with some of the signings and some of what I saw. So I'm going 20-16 Dallas. I think it's to be close, but 33-10. Man, I'm praying I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm praying I'm wrong because you guys are a lot more confident than I am. It's a coin flip. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If we lost, like I said, I'm gonna be disappointed, but I'm not gonna just kill the team. Now, if we lost bad, then I'd be like, oh,
yeah, then it'd be something else.
But it's one of those things. It's gonna be interesting. Our defense gets 10 points on defense.
Well, I mean, 10 points
that's a pick 6, and how do you get 10 points?
Well, it could be a fumble pickup or a pick 6. I don't know where to get the 3 from unless they mean we get a fumble.
Oh, maybe he's saying our defense only gives up 10 points. Maybe because he has it 33-10. Maybe
we got Brandon Aubrey too now. Don't forget about that. We got Brandon Aubrey, Mr. Reliable, and that makes up for a lot of if we can't make a whole bunch of gains on that defense, but we get in field goal position, that can make it up. Because last year, Brandon Aubrey scored 15 points on his own, something like that. One game, he really was the deciding factor with kicking all the field goals that he was kicking. So we got Brandon. So even in the kicking game, we got it. Now, one thing we didn't discuss is the new kickoff rule.
Yeah.
Our special teams got to be on point.
You saw a lot of touchbacks. I think the kickoff rule is an advantage to the Cowboys if they do it. Let me ask Frankie, because Frank, what side bet are we doing here? Because I said Dallas is going to win. Are you saying? I know my man Frank's probably the biggest Cowboy fan I know. I mean, I don't know too many people fly from Germany on just to go see Jimmy Johnson get inducted to the Ring of Honor.
That's dedication.
That's some dedication. I mean, what are we saying here, Frank? You're not going against the Cowboys. That's blasphemy, because I saw that you said we'd win. But with Frankie, if it entails a beer bet, I'm always down. Frankie's coming to the tailgate, and for all you guys, you 450 people hanging in there, I'd love to see 450 people at the tailgate. We're gonna have a good time. Yeah. I may go broke if that happens, because I'm buying all the booze and I'm buying all the stuff with donations. If you guys do want to donate to the cause, they are accepted. We got our Venmo, we've got our Cash App. There's also, you can buy a Cuts. You can buy a beautiful bottle opener from Cuts by Jones. We've got that going. Let me see if I found it. Let's see. We've got, there's our Cash App and Venmo for donations. You can also, for $40, you get that beautiful bottle opener, Cowboys Cave. He's going to be bringing them all there. So I thought it'd be fun, man. Everyone at the tailgate, sign them, and it'd be, kind of a piece for your Cowboys Cave. I know I'll be doing it, but that's an opportunity where you get something back for donating. But any of you guys are going to be there. We'd love for everyone to show up. It's just, again, it's nothing that's well orchestrated. We don't have a list of events. It's basically show up, meet a bunch of great Cowboy fans and fans from other teams that are hanging out, that are on social media. It's an opportunity for all of us to get together. We put the name with the Twitter handles. We put the name with the face. We get to talk smack, because some people talk smack behind the camera, and then when they in front of you, they don't want to talk smack. I love talking smack. I take nothing personal. Hopefully you guys don't either. It's all in fun. I said, if you're an Eagle fan and I saw you at the thing, man, we'll go grab a beer. I've had more fun hanging out with Eagle fans at Cowboy games. They're a lot different than the stories I hear in Philadelphia. Most of them all have been great, and we have a lot of fun smack talking. And that's, at the end of the game, it's a football game. It's not a life or death here. So hopefully we see you guys out there. I don't get
if I talk smack with somebody, it's playful smack, you know, but I don't get deep into that. I'm gonna tell you something now. We gonna do. No, I don't get in all that, because at the end of the day, it's a game, and I get along with Phillies fans, New York fans, whatever, all that. I'll talk. You know, you come back with something, I'll come back with something, like I did the thing about the Super Bowl. Yeah, but you ain't hear me say something about y'all ain't shit. I don't get into that kind of stuff like that. But having fun. I see the crew and you, he's going to be there, because he said he's going to be there at that game for the tailgate and everything too. So it's going to be a great time.
Oh, I mean, Greg's there. I mean, Kelly's there. Jimmy D is there. I'll be there. Frank's there. Cuts, of course, man in the pit. I mean, we got Doug. I mean, I don't want to miss. I know Jay Tuck's going to be out there. I think Cole's Cowboys going out there. I know EJ from Boys in the Zone's going out there. Star We Are is going to be out there. I mean, there's just so many. Steven's going to be out there. Bugsy's going to be out there. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's going to be, and that's what it is, man. It's, you see all these names and you get all the Twitter handles, and it's a place that we all have a great time. And, you know, it makes it really, really special. And like I said, I know a lot of people that just went out solo, and you come out solo, man, and you're going to be treated like family. We're going to have a great time, because at the end of the day, I tell people, man, I love my Cowboys. I love going to the games. I've been very blessed to have the opportunity to go to a bunch of games. You know, only 7% of the fans in the NFL have been to an NFL football game. I mean, it's crazy when you think about that. But my favorite part is hanging out with the Cowboy fans.
Yes.
It's all of that stuff, man. It's just a cool thing, man. So anyway, it's great to have everyone there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So those are kind of our predictions. Now it's showtime. It's it's 11:46 my time, 10:46 Dallas and Greg's time. So it's almost that time. I mean, we're getting there, right? Now pregame's getting going. Now, you know, you got your last minute chores, because the Cowboys, it's going to be here. It's going to be here, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So Cowboys Nation, I appreciate we're up over 500 at one point joining us. I say it for the last time. I'd love to get over that 3,000 subscriber mark. That was our first goal. We've got a cool giveaway that we're doing when we get there. I think we're under like 70 or 60 or whatever it is. So it just takes the rest of you guys that are hanging with us on Twitter to run over. The link is in the bio of my Twitter handle. You can click it and go. You can also go to cowboyscave.com. You can subscribe there. It's free. You can also download the app from there. It takes you directly to the app, the Autograph app. So go ahead and get that done. Hit the like button on your way out. And Greg, I'll give you some final thoughts before we wrap this baby up.
Well, you know, I just saw, what's his name? Kid Cowboy says, see you at Walmart. Well, I'll be right down the street from Walmart, because my wife and I are staying at the Hyatt Place in Arlington. We were going to go to Live by Lowe's. But, man, those during the off season, it was like, okay, let's get a room over there. But then as soon as I tried to book for the football season, it's like they want a mortgage to stay over there.
I'm going to tell you what, Greg. My wife, I got to get her linked up with your wife, because I'm going to the Tampa Bay Sunday night game. And how much were tickets? How much were rooms going for at Lowe's?
6 something.
All right. I got it for less than half that.
At Lowe's?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
there's a website. It's got to be quick. Like when you see it, it ain't no I'm debating and I'm going to think about it. It's I booked, and we got a room, because, you know, I don't know, when my wife goes, I got to stay there. When I go, I stay at, like, you know, the cheapest hotel I could find, you know, for the budget. But when the wife's there, she needs, you know, that's the deal we have. She lets me go. That's you know, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
But the Lowe's just got to be outrageous.
It did.
And so I'm like, we did the same thing. I was like, yeah, we're not staying there. And she has a website, and she kept checking it out, and she checked it every day. And all of a sudden it was doom. Book now, this price, less than half. And I couldn't pass it up.
No, not low, because my brother stayed there when Pittsburgh played Dallas, and he went. And then a friend of mine was at that same game, Air Force friend of mine, and I hooked him up so him and my brother can meet each other, and they both stayed at Lowe's, and what they paid then was half the price. But I kept trying over and over and over, and I tried military discount. I tried this. And they kept saying, I said, what? They said, well, we got an event going on. I said, you mean the Dallas Cowboys are in town? They're playing. I was like, ain't nowhere in the world I'm paying that much there, man. And I'm going to be in the area for like 5 days. No way. But the Hyatt place was just really nice.
No, it's nice.
That's our go-to, because we used to always go to the Gaylord Resort. That was our go-to, the Gaylord Resort, and get a room on the inside so you can look in the atrium. And then my wife's like, my wife's like, well, let's mix it up this time. Let's try Live by Lowe's. So I said, okay, I want to do Live by Lowe's right down the street. But it just couldn't find the tickets. And then we said, okay, well, we always know the Hyatt place is always nice. And that's the go-to. And I got the Hyatt place down the street. So when I forgot who it was on here said something about, I'll see you at Walmart. You might, because it's right down the street.
Yeah.
It's right down the street. You know, it's from the ball field. So you might see me going to Walmart, because when I get in Texas, you can get Dallas Cowboy gear everywhere. Walmart anywhere.
Oh, Walmart is, but the Walmart is it's like the Walmart Dallas section looks like a damn as big as like a Target, you know, just for the Dallas section. It's
and I'm gonna do a video in Walmart saying, oh, I'm here in Candyland. I'm about to buy this.
I have like 10 rolls of paper towels I bought there. I bought cups, paper, you know, the plates.
Right.
And it's like, so whenever I get there, I just slowly use them. So I always bring an empty suitcase my first trip. If like this trip, I'm going by myself. So I'll have an extra suitcase. I just, you know, and I just load glasses I buy there. I buy anything that I can't find, because it's so much cheaper there than obviously, you know, trying to buy it at the pro shop or any of that other stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, but hey, we are so excited for that tailgate, but we are so excited to get this season started. And, I just can't wait. I just cannot wait. And it's almost showtime. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be hyped. We're gonna get this thing rolling, and nothing is gonna be sweeter than getting that first victory up in Cleveland in a hostile environment. It's gonna be fun. But Tom Brady's calling the game. He's gonna make his first.
He is. His
first call.
one.
So that's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. So
y'all look. I'm telling you, I'm as soon as we get out of here, I'm going to put on that uniform. I'm getting my hype video together. I'm getting the man, like Mike said, I'm getting the man cave all lit up and get it ready, because it's coming, y'all. This is our first game of the new season. I'm going to be hyped. We need everybody to be ready. Get your gear on, suit up, gear up, drink up, eat up, get ready, because it's Cowboys time. We've been waiting all year for this, and we got it fully loaded, baby. And we signed CeeDee Lamb, and it's time to do it. Cowboys Nation, get up off your ass. Be ready, because it's time for them boys to put it on them dogs.
We're getting it going, man. No one gets as hype as me than Greg. And if you guys make sure you're following him on TikTok, because he does, I mean, from the Canes to the Cowboys. I mean, I love your stuff on there. I mean, I can't get enough of it. I told you we're gonna do a show in your cave. I cover that area. I gotta get my sales guy to get some business up there, so I have a reason to go with him. But we're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna do a live show in that cave, because I got to see it from my own eyes, because I see the Canes. I love how you change everything. You change the Canes to the Cowboys. You got it going out pretty good, man. So it's exciting. But you guys need to follow Greg on TikTok if you don't already. Greg, give your TikTok again, because, I mean, that's where it's at.
It's Gregory Girard, and Girard is spelled Gerard. Gregory Girard 146 on TikTok. And on Facebook, it's just Gregory Girard. Look me up on either one of them. Cowboys fans, everybody in the corner, look me up. Remind me that you was on the show, and I'll friend you. I'll confirm the friendship on you. And Gregory Girard 146 on TikTok. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be dropping. So make sure you get that your last dose of hype before the season gets started. So again, make sure, hit that subscribe if you haven't, hit the like, hit the share, all that on the way out. We definitely appreciate it. We are so excited to get this season rolling. A lot of people ask where Kelly is. Anyone who knows Kelly knows he's been out all night. He ain't getting up this early. That's it. He ain't going to be here. It's too early for him. Greg and I run the weekends. These old dogs, we run the weekends because we get up early, man. We're ready to roll. We got that we got that clock in our head. We don't need no alarm clock. We don't need nothing. We could be out till 2 a.m. and we're getting up at the same time the next day. That's just great work, right, Greg? So.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna fly, if you're gonna hang out with the Owls late at night, you better be ready to fly with the Eagles in the morning.
That's right. Cowboys Nation, we love you. We appreciate it. You guys have a great one. Go Cowboys. Let's get it done. Have a great one. See ya.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry.